Good morning friends. So in this series we are going to discuss the banking awareness, and we try to cover all the topics of banking awareness in the near futures. Okay, so with the start of this, first we need to know what is bank, what is the definitions of banks. So a bank is a financial institution that accepts deposits from the public and creates lending, and this all bank sectors regulated by RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, which is the central bank of our country. Okay, next, assets. What is assets? Friends, banks carry out lending activities and earn incomes from that. So lending activities are the assets for the banks. Okay, for example, housing loans, personal loans, mortgage loans, corporate loans, etc. These are the assets for the banks, and because they yield higher interest rates for the banks. Why we call them assets for the banks? Because they yield higher interest rate for the banks. Okay, next, liabilities. What we deposit with the banks are known as liabilities for the banks. Okay, and and the amount, sorry, here I missed the words, that is amounts. The amount we deposited in the banks, we get interest on that with respect to the amounts, and that the reasons why we call them, that is liabilities. Okay, so liabilities means what we deposit with the banks are known as liabilities for the banks, and the amount we deposited in the banks, we get interest on that with respect to the amounts, and that's the reasons why we called as liabilities. And comes to net interest margin, that is NIM. Friends, for better functioning of any banking systems, net interest margins have a main roles in that. Okay, net interest margins have a main role on that, and the difference or the gap between assets and liabilities is called as net interest margins. For examples, a bank charges 8% interest rate on loans, and it provides 5% interest on deposits. Okay, 8% interest rate on loans, and it provides 5% interest on deposits. So here the difference between them, that is 8% minus 5%, which is the result of 3%, is the net interest margins for the banks. Okay, so this is the net interest margins for the banks. Okay, thank you.